When talking about YGA, we call it an ecosystem. We have dream partners, alumni members, high school students, university students, science mobilization partners. The ecosystem is in constant interaction, and we are going to see a very good example of this soon. Inci is an 11-year grader in Bahçeşehir University. Sude is from Electrics and Electronics Engineering Department, a junior student. Sami is from Gaziantep University Physics Engineering Department, graduate. And right now he lives in the Netherlands, but still with lots of passion, he supports us as an alumni member. So now I would like to invite them to the floor.
Hoş geldiniz.
Hoş bulduk.
Welcome, Sude. First, I'd like to turn to you. How did you meet YGA? Can you tell us about your experiences with YGA? Well, it was when I was in high school. I made 3 applications during high school and they were all turned down. At university, I made an application again. Now, thinking back, I become aware that it wasn't the right timing because I was not aware what I was searching in YGA. Where my story collided with YGA is I was born and raised in a disadvantageous place until university, and thanks to a teacher, I was introduced to robots. For 3 years, we produced robots and made some sustainable projects. And uh, that then already I had decided to work with robots. This is what I do now. In university, I started teaching robotics in high schools as a volunteer, and once again, uh, I had my paths crossing with YGA because education cannot be left up to coincidences. And I knew that YGA had a huge hard work on transformations, and with Mehmet Toner and many other dream partners, we aim to use conscientious education and science to sort the problem of unequal opportunities in education. Obviously, you're going to be a very conscientious and very competent academic in the future. Inji, would you tell us your story of how your paths crossed with YGA? Yes, of course. Like Sude, I also started producing social projects. I'm sure that there are people among you who believe, who want clean energy and who want to address the problem of inequality in education. I really wanted to make a change, and this was eating me up inside because there were things that I was concerned about the globe, and I wanted to find solutions, but I didn't know what to do. And at this point, I was introduced to YGA. First, I saw it online in social media, and then I joined the summit. Had the chance to see the vision and the impact, and I was very much impressed. I'm still impressed by the story of someone who wanted to solve the disadvantaged position of women in education. With Upschool, she made a huge difference. So after listening to all these success stories, I wanted to become part of YGA, learn about the role models and learn from them. I understand very well that you are impressed by the role models because Sami is a role model for me too. As you know, in the second summer in university, I did my internship in TYT and then I returned to the USA after COVID. I had to update my CV. I had to find an internship and I was completely lost. And at that time, Sami and Sami sat and worked with me for 2 hours on my CV and showed me what I should pay attention to. And after returning to the USA, I was able to take the initial steps and get my Apple internship thanks to that. Once again, in front of everyone, I'd like to thank you, Sami, for all your support. Thank you for your support. In the USA, there's a common question, what's in it for me? And I saw the opposite of this in Sami. What's more impressive is Sami did this at a time when there was a lot of uncertainty in our lives. We all go through times when there's lots of uncertainty. Sometimes it takes a week, sometimes one day, sometimes months, and sometimes years. But you suffered this a long time. You came to a country that you didn't know. You spoke a language. You learned this language that you didn't know. Can you share with us what happened? Let me start my story by saying the following. When I was 19, I came from Syria to Turkey. I had to leave my own home country, and I found myself in the middle of a completely foreign culture. Uh, there was lots of uncertainty. You know, at times of uncertainty and challenge, you look at your family and your friends, and that's how you get your strength. I come from a large family. I'm really lucky. We are 7 siblings, but because of the conditions, the 7 siblings had to spread to 3 continents, 5 countries. And it was not only my family. Uh, about half of my country left their homes. 11 million people left their homes, and 7 million people had to leave to other countries. And uh, I settled in Gaziantep, and I started to look at my life there as a new beginning. But since I've known myself, I was always a positive person, but it wasn't easy to remain happy under these circumstances. And it was at such challenging times that I met YGA. They were holding science workshops with Syrian children in Gaziantep. They needed university students that would be taking roles in those workshops. And as you might imagine, in that region, there are many NGOs that work hard in order to meet the requirements of Syrian refugees. It's happy to have them, but YGA is different in that it builds projects in order to offer radical solutions. It's not just to offer aids to the children, but the idea is to equip the children with competencies, raise role models that are going to help develop the region and the country and the world. And this was a really different viewpoint. It was really good, and it gave me hope, and it gave me the chance to improve my skills. You also worked in TYT. As you know, TYT is an YGA initiative that aims to find a solution to climate change. We worked on it together, by the way. How did your experiences here embody your viewpoint to business? For 7 years, I've been working passionately in the field of sustainability, but honestly, my dream was not always to solve the climate crisis. There are several problems that I was troubled by, and this was keeping me from taking action. You probably are troubled by problems around the world, and you might be thinking, I cannot sort this out by myself, and it's possible and easy to be pessimistic or put the blame on others. What's difficult is to ask the question, what can I do to solve this problem? And I started to find an answer to this question in YGA. I decided I don't want fossil fuels. I want clean energy. I want a sustainable world, a sustainable future. YGA gave me the confidence and the chance to work hard, and I saw that it was possible. As you can see in TYT, we founded the first floating solar energy system in the world. And as we were doing this, I was still in university. With this experience, I had the chance to shape my career. And after TYT, again in the field of clean energy in the Netherlands, I worked on the building of open sea solar energy systems in Solar company. I worked as a product development manager, and that's my path now. Wonderful. Sami spoke about the past 7 years, but you are at the beginning of your YGA journey. Suda, it's only been 1 year for you in YGA, but already you have done great work, and you are even very instrumental in the science mobilization globally. Yes, of course. We need to have confident dreams and we have to work with passion and encouragement. Uh, mm, YGA had a goal of spreading the science mobilization to Africa. I and Elif did the project management of this process, and at the beginning it was full of uncertainty. It was kind of scary for us and concerning because we did want a global impact and we wanted the science mobilization to spread from Turkey to the rest of the world. But was it easy when you don't know the culture of a country and you have to prepare the training and official documents? These were sort of scary for us. But once we started working, the following processes followed much faster than we imagined. And I think this was so rapid and so smooth because of two reasons. One is this was a common dream for all of us, and another is that we supported each other throughout the process because we were pursuing a really meaningful goal, and it's only possible to make true with people who support each other and people who believe in each other. In this process, with Rwandan students from Turkey, we even held a science workshop in Marash. And you might ask, how did they communicate? Because, Rwandans speak English. Do our children speak enough English? Was it really an effective workshop? Well, the volunteers were translating at the beginning, and then the Rwandan students and the children managed to communicate and build projects together and even design experiments because they were all speaking the common language of love. And we came to such a point, the Rwandan students started to get along very well with the rest of the container city. We had local food prepared from Marash. Those who prepared the food were asking the Rwandans whether they liked the Turkish food, and they started telling us about their own food. It was beyond our imagination, and it was incredibly uh, friendly and sweet. And I, after witnessing this, started to build with more confidence. And Mert and Elif and the entire YGA team assisted me hugely within this process, and I'd like to thank them all. That's a great field work. What we see here is not about, how long you are ready to spend in YJ, but it's about how willing you are to take responsibility. In G, you've been with us for 1 year, but with Upschool, you did your internship and you worked very closely with me now. How did YGA support you? Well, the process in Upschool really helped me hugely because it gave me the opportunity to develop my skills more than anywhere else, any other time. I did lots of tests. I worked with big data sets, and I uh, spent much time studying AI. I also had the chance to see the work processes, workflow, and in YGA, it's not only about conscience, it's also about competencies, and I had a lot of opportunities. Even joined a NASA competition to make a conscientious project about AI, and we had the chance to uh, focus on how we could empower children with disadvantages. And the idea was also to have other children benefit from this. In Upschool, I had the chance to have a technical experience that would enable me to reach NASA, and I could learn the vision to turn this into a meaningful impact globally. When I was at high school, there were a lot of organizations that it was possible to be part of, and it's really difficult to choose amongst them sometimes. What is making YGA different? That's correct. Especially us university students sometimes think we are missing out, and sometimes we panic out of this. Many of my friends applied to a lot of programs without really knowing whether they wanted it or not. And I was part of many different projects and programs at high school. But what delineates YGA hugely is the following. We are not only informed about projects, but we also have active roles in these projects, and we can even come up with new projects based on our own ideas. Some talents do not only come with education alone. You have to experience it out there in the field. And important projects like Rwanda, well, in some projects, students are not considered as the main focus, but in this case, we could see how effective this method would be. And another thing that I really love about YGA is that all the volunteers and all the alumni help each other improve our skills. Let me give you an example. I want to be an academic and I have different projects about this, but from time to time it's difficult for me to see into the future and sometimes I panic. At such times, no matter what time it is, I know I can call Jihan and I can share my concerns with him, and he will always tell me how I should fight the uncertainty and how I could reach my dreams because there are always several paths. He is offering me guidance in life. Another example is the weekly meetings we had with Elif, because in the Rwanda project we had a lot of weekly projects, Elif, me and Mert. So instead of starting, have you done your tasks? Elif would first ask, what we did in our lives, and then uh, we would discuss our personal fields of improvement, and then we discuss our ideas and details. So what I felt in YGA, differently from other programs, is that I feel valued here, and I can see that my ideas are being valued. I joined a science workshop in Hatay with Recep from the city. We were in charge of a a group of children of 5, and I was really excited. After the field work, I didn't really feel very good because my performance to me was not good enough. But Recep came to me and had a long talk with me and showed me how I could moderate the field better. And then I became aware that what I needed to improve my skills was to try the challenge, take it, leave my comfort zone, and get the help that I needed when necessary. YGA gives you the opportunity to try this, to test this. It creates lots of room for you to do so. And in the breaks, my colleagues take, challenge over and again, and I believe that this makes everything much more meaningful. That these are some facts that I could share.
Kişilik bir grubun sorumlu
So please don't be intimidated. You won't be requiring the responsibility of like 7 or 8 people once you become a part of YGA. And I think this was the case for you. Yes, exactly. It was like that. And during the session, my friends continued their support for me. And this really makes you happy because you find this opportunity to be with someone who could teach you a lot around those responsibilities, and you find an opportunity to meet role models. Sude and Tuche were here a year ago, and today they are talking about their own YGA journeys. So, if you would like to develop yourselves as a double winged framework, you can transmit your applications on the YGA webpage until January the 19th. Thank you.